What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? Get up and roll up with first hit, first down. I am your host, as always, New Jersey Preem, and we are reacting to NFL Week 13, y'all. How y'all feeling today, man? I'm hyped. Dallas Cowboys just came off of beating the two previous Super Bowl participants in the span of 4 days. Shout out to those boys, and we're gonna get right into it. Hold on, let me just share this joint one good time. How y'all feeling this morning, though? We feeling good? We feeling good? Let me put my background music on to make sure everybody's straight. Everybody's straight. You know? You know? We good, we good, we good. Like I said, let me just share this joint real quick. You know? How we feeling? How we feeling? I swear I just shared this bitch, just not sharing. Well, look, as you guys can see, we got our thoughts and reactions to what happened over this weekend with the what happened over this past week, this past Thursday with the holiday games, with the Thursday game and of course the Black Friday games. We had 3 games on Thursday. The first game that we had was the Packers at the Lions, and the Packers won handedly. Um, the Lions just, you know what? I'm not going to say that they don't look good. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm gonna say that they they're injured. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna say that the Lions is injured, and that's the reason why they don't look as good as we would like them to. Hold on, hold on. Something ain't right. Something ain't right on the Facebook feed. Something ain't right on the Facebook feed. We gotta go check this shit out. Everything says good on my end. Y'all let me know. Somebody let me know on Facebook if everything is okay. If y'all can see me on Facebook right now. My chat still ain't working for Facebook and shit. So, like I said, you guys let me know and shit. If y'all can see me up on Facebook, if everything is cool up on there. If y'all not, you know what I'm saying, watch it from Facebook, don't even trip. I bet. Bet. All right, so look, like I said, yeah, the Packers and the Lions played the first game on Thanksgiving, and the Packers won that game handedly. Micah Parsons had a vintage Micah Parsons game. He had 2.5 sacks and a shitload of pressures on Jared Goff. My co-host for the Wake and Bake podcast, we talk about this shit all the time, right? About the fact that if you put a little bit of pressure on Jared Goff, just a teeny bit of pressure on Jared Goff, you know, he had turned into a completely different quarterback, a completely different. But the Packers did what they had to do. Went to Detroit and handled business. Dallas is seeing Detroit this Thursday, so actually got a chance to jump them in the playoff standings. As of right now, Dallas is currently the ninth seed on the outside looking in, and have to have some luck and also some wins in order to try to make a playoff run. But we'll get to that when we talk about that game. Jordan Love ended with 4 touchdowns. Just over 200, I think just over 250 yards. Might have been 230 yards for real. But he looked pretty good. The Packers offense looked as good as they have in recent memories, just based off the fact that they was pushing that ball down the field finally. And when the Lions has as many DBs as they have out and injured, you better take advantage of that shit. You feel me? So they did, and I ain't mad at them for doing uh, that at all. When it comes down to the Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown did get injured in that game. We don't know for sure if he's going to be playing this Thursday against Dallas, but and that game is in Detroit. But we don't, you know what I'm saying? But he did get injured that game. Hopefully he get back healthy and stuff. I believe they have a couple of offensive linemen that's out also. So it's, they coming in the game limping. This is just prime for Dallas to be able to take advantage of that. And hopefully they do so. The next game after that was the aforementioned Dallas Cowboys and Kansas City game. You feel me? And like I said, Dallas keep playoff hopes alive with Kansas with a win on Thanksgiving versus Kansas City. 31-28. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. If Dallas get maybe a stop or two, this game was a blowout. For real. Dallas came to play offensively, defensively. They did their job. They held them when they absolutely had to. And when Dak got that ball back with a little bit more than 2 minutes left on that clock, he made sure to not get that shit back to Patrick Mahomes. And that's how you beat a great quarterback right there. Never give him a chance. Never give him a chance. Patrick Mahomes is known for doing shit like that to people like Josh Allen and all the other good quarterbacks in the league and shit. He had it done to him finally, for real. Well, he had it done to him before with Tom Brady, but he had it done to him in the regular season, for real. And Dallas looked really good. Of course, we started out a little sluggish. They got a lot of pressure on Dak. No sacks, though. A lot of pressure, but no sacks. So shout out to the offensive line. Shout out to Dak Prescott for getting the ball out of his hands quicker and not holding on to nothing. Shout out to the receivers for getting open early, understanding who and where the hot read at, all that good shit, right? But he did throw an interception early off of a pressure look. We know Spagnola is going to send some motherfucking pressure. That's one thing we do know. And Dak Prescott versus the pressure was, I think, 9 of 10 for 100 and plus, I think 180 yards, 2 tutties and an interception. That's not the quarterback that you really want to blitz. You know what I'm saying? That's not really the quarterback that you want to blitz. He beats the blitz every time. It was a couple times that he beat the blitz, even doing the wrong, like picking the wrong read. You know what I'm saying? They coming from the backside on the blitz. You're supposed to throw into where they blitzing from because it's, you know what I'm saying, it's an empty spot there. And Dak not even looking that way. He throw it somewhere else and still was able to complete it. So he's just that good against the blitz. He's out here balling. I don't think that there's anybody. Appreciate the follow over on Twitch too. I don't think there's anybody that that Dak Prescott. I'm sorry. I don't think there's anybody in the league that's played as good as Dak Prescott has played, especially let's say the past 3 to 4 weeks for real. So he's making his claim, in my opinion, he's making his claim for MVP. I ain't going, you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to say that he's the front runner because I still believe that's Matt Stafford, and we'll get to that game later. But I feel like Dak is definitely making his claim for MVP, especially if they end up making the playoffs. But getting back to this game, Kansas City came out. They came out and scored early and often. Patrick Mahomes ended the game with like 230 yards and 4 tutties, no turnovers. Played really decent game. I mean, he was out there running for his life. Dallas was getting pressure on him. I think they got maybe 1 or 2 sacks on him. You know what I'm saying? Well, I know they got more than 2 sacks because Jadeveon Clowney had 2 by itself. Shout out to him. but had Patty out there running for his life, but he made plays only that he could make, bro. Like, it's a play. He getting chased down by Donovan Ezequiel. I can never get bro name right for real, so I don't even want to fuck it up. And I want to say he getting chased by Quentin Williams too. And he jumping out of tackles, throwing a 50-yard dots as he's falling to the ground, bro. That's only shit that Patrick Mahomes can do. You feel me? So, so he did that shit. Don't get me wrong. He did that shit. He was out there balling. I tell you this. The Chiefs did not lose that game because of anything that Patrick Mahomes did. Patrick Mahomes was out there balling his ass off. Did Dak Prescott outplay him? Absolutely. But Patrick Mahomes was out there balling his ass off, and I will never, discredit him for that. That his defense and uh our defense was the reason why he didn't win that game. But he did have 4 total touchdowns. 2 went to Rashid Rice. One of them was just a little quick screen pass to the outside, like when they first drive right after the interception that he ran down the sideline. Another one was on a 4th down play. He scored, I think, 2 touchdowns on 4th down. You know what I'm saying? I think one of Travis Kelce when they had motherfucking Kenneth Murray in coverage on Travis Kelce. Listen, I know Travis Kelce ain't the guy he used to be, and he's been having some drop passes as of lately. You know what I'm saying? But there is no way in hell you leave Kenneth Murray to defend Travis Kelce. I don't give a fuck if Travis Kelce is in a goddamn cast, a goddamn walking boot, bro. You don't leave Kenneth Murray out there by himself. I don't give a fuck if it's just his zone and he's supposed to be covering his zone and Travis Kelce just so happened to run into his zone. I don't want that man by himself on the island with no tight end, let alone Travis motherfucking Kelce. But we was there, and Travis was able to score on that 4th down. That was the second touchdown I believe they had. Patty found, like I said, Rashid Rice scored on 2 of them, but Patty also found Hollywood Brown in the back of the end zone and shit for his 4th touchdown. Damn it, my lighter is dead and my blunt keep going out. So Dak answered the first drive. After he threw the interception, he came right back down through a 15-yard strike to CeeDee Lamb, who was balling this game. Had Trent McDuffie looking lost out that motherfucker. Boy, he had Trent McDuffie not looking like an all-pro. He had Trent McDuffie looking like a regular-ass nigga. He had him looking like a regular-ass nigga on Thanksgiving and shit. You wouldn't even know that Trent McDuffie was an all-pro cornerback and shit. One of the best cornerbacks in the league, especially when it comes to man-to-man and shit. But he had Trent looking lost out there. He finished, I think, with 7 or 8 receptions for like 112 yards and a tutty. He was really the focal point, even though he didn't get the most targets. The most targets went to George Pickens. I think he had 11 or 13 targets. I think he caught maybe 6 or 7 of them. None bigger than his final catch, which was the catch that put the game away. And that's 2 weeks in a row that Dak Prescott, not only Dak Prescott decided, hey, I'm going to George Pickens to ice this game, but we're going to George Pickens across the field, the middle of the field. Last week, it was like a little in-cut, a little dig route, you know what I'm saying, up and towards the middle of the field. And then this week, it was just a little a little slant pass. And it's so funny that CeeDee and George Pickens are murdering niggas on these slants, and there's nobody seem to understand it, stop it. So I got a reason why people are so hesitant to even try to play the slant, right? So if you look at how George Pickens opens up with his release when he's about to run the slant, he's looking like he about to run a go. He's getting bro to turn low-key, try to turn his hips or even just widen his hips towards the sideline when he goes to, you know what I'm saying, start his release and run his route. He'll do a little up the field towards the boundaries to get the corner to think that he's actually going that way, and then he cuts inside for the slant. It's beautiful. And it's beautiful. So when you got a receiver like George Pickens that goes up top so much, you know what I'm saying, he's a deep ball threat, he's a possession receiver, and he gets busy after the catch. You don't want to give up that deep ball. So as soon as he releases to act like he's going upfield, or towards the boundaries and shit to try to get you to open up your hip, 9 times out of 10, you're going to do that shit because you don't want to get beat. So then he hits, you know what I'm saying? He comes back inside and he's right there for the slant, and Dak is on time most of the time or all the time with that ball. And the same thing goes for CeeDee. CeeDee going to route you up. And the thing about the difference between CeeDee and Pickens is even though you're not necessarily 100% threatened by CeeDee going over the top, you still have to worry about that shit. And he's another, I know he has a case of the drops this year, but he's another contested ball receiver that if you throw it up there, 50-50 shit, he's probably going to come down. They're not 50-50, you know what I'm saying? More like, you know what I'm saying, 70-20, you know, like 60-40, if you will. So that's, in my opinion, that's why that slant route is always open for especially George Pickens, because you have to fear, and like I said, the way he releases off the line of scrimmage is like you have to fear him going over the top. You have to fear him going for that 9 or that go ball. So when he releasing off the line and he and you know what I'm saying, you sit there, you like, oh shit, I don't know where he gonna go. nine times out of 10, your body, you don't let him go over the top. So then you start to open up to go run with him, and then he cuts back inside for the slant, and he gets busy after the catch. So a lot of the times, like it was a play in the game against the Chiefs that he went, you know what I'm saying, and got that ball, and and his and it was a slant, but he, you know what I'm saying, he came out the back end of it and ran up the sideline, was able to hurdle a motherfucker. And I wish Jake Ferguson, whoever else was there, was able to hold him up so he can go score on that play. But that's what I'm saying. So he get busy after the catch, especially if you playing, like if you fucking up with your leverage, if you overplaying that play, he gonna spin out the back side of that motherfucker and he gonna take that for some more yards. Or he could just muscle a motherfucker off of him. So the dynamic between George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb has been great, amazing for this Dallas Cowboy offense, and nobody's been benefiting more than MV Prescott. And Dak Prescott in this game didn't have a huge running game. Javonte Williams came out. I think he had like 50 something yards on 17 carries, but he did have an explosive play when we needed it. Not Javonte Williams, but Malik Davis. Number 43, aka number 34 for Dallas Cowboy fans that know. Malik Davis been with the Dallas Cowboys off and on for like the past 5 seasons. For real. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Malik Davis for showing his worth and for consistently being ready when his number is called, for real. But he was able to go through and bust a big run right up the gut. I mean, if you guys go back, I wish I had these plays queued up and shit. But if you guys go back and watch that run, look at what Tyler Booker was able to do to one of the best defensive tackles in the league in Chris Jones. Just go back and look at that run that Malik Davis had when he, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to Hunter Lipke too, because Hunter Lipke playing the fullback position had an amazing block that also sprung. And like blocking is one of the main keys, when it comes to having a huge run. The running back don't have to do much but hit them holes and hit them hard. No diddy. You feel me? So when it comes to that blocking, boy, and I wanted to put the spotlight on my boy Tyler Booker because for the last couple of weeks, he's been going against some really good defensive tackles. On last Sunday, he had to play against the Philadelphia Eagles and their defensive tackles with Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. And then this past week, he had to play, this Thursday, he had to play against goddamn Chris Jones, one of the best defensive tackles in the league in the past 10 years, you know what I'm saying? And he had to go up against both of these two teams with these two dominant tackles, and he schooled both of them motherfuckers. Of course, they won some of those battles because they're great players. But he won the majority of them motherfuckers. I tell you that. I tell you that, especially Tyler Booker versus Jalen Carter. See, Jalen Carter, in my opinion, was like, I ain't gonna fuck with Tyler Smith. I done dealt with him. I know what he about. Let me go try the rookie out. Maybe I can get my shit off on the rookie, and the rookie wasn't having it. You know what I'm saying? The rookie wasn't having it when it came to Jalen Carter. He had that man gassed. He had that man exhausted. He like mentally and physically exhausted by the end of the game. He had that man ready to quit. And it's so funny because I saw a quote of Jalen Carter's quoting what Tyler Smith said on his draft day about the fact that he liked to see the love of the game leave people's eyes. That's how physical he likes to be with people. You love football until you play against Tyler Booker. That's what he said. And Jalen Carter kind of quoted that shit in a way of like, yeah, we'll see if he really about that life. And he saw firsthand. He took the joy away. Football is zero fun, sir, in the words of my boy Petey from Remember the Titans. You know what I'm saying? That's how Jalen Carter was feeling out there going against Tyler Smith. And it didn't make no difference for Chris Jones. Chris Jones got his shit off, like I said. Jalen Carter got some shit off. You know what I'm saying? But as that game went on, and that's the thing that Tyler said, as the game go along, you know what I'm saying? Let's see if you have that same enthusiasm, that same energy that you had in the first 2 quarters or the first 3 quarters. When that fourth quarter coming, I'm still leaning on you, and I'm still down here in these trenches. I mean, the way he comes out of, like, you know what I'm saying, his stance, the way he punches, his base is just so stout. His feet strong, and he moved the motherfuckers. If he punches you, if he get his hands on you, it's damn, you might as well just call that shit a rep. All right, I'm done. I ain't about to be able to get up out of this shit. I can't disengage from this motherfucker. That's how it looks on tape and on film to me, especially him versus Jalen Carter. So shout out to Tyler Booker, did an amazing job. Dallas Cowboys defense did their motherfucking thing. Even though they gave up 28 points, let's talk about the 28 points. They gave up 21 points until the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. They gave up that last touchdown, and then they didn't give the ball back. And I'm proud of them for that. But the defense did what they absolutely had to do. They was getting pressure on Mahomes continuously throughout the game. Although they didn't get, you know what I'm saying, they couldn't finish because, like, this is Mahomes we talk about. I can't stand how good he is at scrambling. He's like the slowest fast motherfucker in the world. Like, he's the fastest slow nigga, if that makes sense and shit. But every time he runs, it's like, I know it's people on the field that should be able to catch that man with no problem. But for some way, somehow, like when he was out running DeMarion Overshawn, I'm like, come on, bro. There, in what world is this happening? Like, that Patrick Mahomes is out running DeMarion Overshawn and shit. But nonetheless, he did. You know what I'm saying? And he was out there running for his life. Defense was getting pressure continuously. Our rookie, Donovan Ezekwaru, I cannot pronounce bro last name. But he was out there getting pressure consistently. Was getting pressure right up the middle, like I said. That's just one of my favorite ways to get pressure. Is the quickest way to the quarterback or the ball carrier. They couldn't run the ball too much on us at all. Dallas' running defense has been amazing since Quentin Williams has been here. Logan Wilson had made a couple plays. He was out there a lot more this week than he was in week with the Eagles and shit. But Dallas defense looked pretty damn decent. Some pieces is back healthy. Some guys is looking good. Some guys are looking comfortable now because they have a true superstar on the defense that actually requires attention from the other opposing's offense and shit. So that helps everybody out. People get one-on-ones. We're doing these 5 down lineman rushes, whereas though you don't know if we're going to send all 5 or if we're going to be sending 4 or we're going to be dropping one and bringing somebody from, you know what I'm saying, the secondary or the linebacker position. So it's kind of fun to see this defense now. And my thing about the whole Matt Eberflus thing, like, hold on. Let me make sure you guys know what I'm saying about this, right? Because I don't want y'all to think that I'm giving this motherfucker a pass. I just realized that my shit stopped. But I don't want y'all to think that this motherfucker a pass, right? So when it comes to Matt Eberflus, I think that his defense was designed to have somebody that was a dominant pass rusher or in a dominant defensive lineman on that line, right? So of course it was built around Micah Parsons originally, right? Now that you see that we have another dominant presence on that line, you can see kind of his vision for this defense. Now, I'm not saying this defense is, you know what I'm saying, top 5, top 10, and nothing like that yet, but I can kind of see the vision of where he was going when it comes to this defense. So you can see the focus is on Quentin Williams. And Quentin Williams being in the middle of that defense, like I said, just makes so much sense. And it's so much better for everybody else because you get these one-on-ones. He's eating up double teams, hell, sometimes triple teams. Watch how Osa is eating. Watch how the edge rushers are eating. You know what I'm saying? Watch how Kenny Clark is getting penetration so quickly and so consistently because they're getting one-on-one matchups and they're winning those one-on-one matchups and shit. And now it's on some shit where I was looking at the package the other day where Quentin Williams wasn't even on the field and we were still getting pressure. And that's because I think everybody have a new confidence in themselves. They understand that their job is a lot easier now that we have actually good players on this defense. I still don't like the way that Eberflus calls defenses. Excuse me. I still don't like our DBs playing 8 to 10 yards off the line of scrimmage. You know what I'm saying? It's still shit that I don't like, but I do see him switching it up to man a little bit more. I see him like you're seeing the corners press a little bit more. You're seeing, you know what I'm saying, different type of pressure packages or blitz packages, if you will. So it's like I can give respect to a motherfucker that's willing to try. It's not like Flus was sitting there on some shit like, I'm gonna do this shit my way and it's gonna stay my way. You actually see, all right, this shit wasn't working, and this shit wasn't really working with the personnel that I have. So let's try to find some shit that's gonna work now that we have. And it helps when you actually have better dudes on the field. It helps when DeMarion Overshawn is back. It helps having Quentin Williams. It helps having Logan Wilson. You know what I'm saying? It helps having what's my boy name? Revel and Reddy and Ken Carson and you know what I'm saying? Of course, Deron Bland being, you know what I'm saying, he had to play, it looked like he had to play a couple games to get back into game shape, to get back, you know what I'm saying, healthy and shit. Deron Bland has been looking a lot better as of recently, of course. And him guarding his team, the other team's best receiver, he might get beat a couple times because the other motherfucker got a job to do too. But as long as you don't get beat consistently, as long as you don't give up wide ass open passes, I'm straight with you. You feel me? But I feel like Flus in this defense is catching some type of rhythm. So I am, you know what I'm saying, I am excited for that. Just when it comes to these goddamn defenses, bro, you don't even got to play that far back. You do not have to play that far back. But we ended the Thanksgiving games with one of the upsets of the week. You know, Joe Shiesty made his return to the football field after missing 2 months of play with a foot injury, right? Or a hand injury. This motherfucker injured so much, I don't even know what it is. You feel me? But he made his return against the division rivals, Baltimore Ravens, and they stunned the Baltimore Ravens by winning. I think they won like 26 or 24-14, bro. Like they won decisively. And what's my boy name? Lamar Jackson don't look, let's say, comfortable. You know what I'm saying? He don't look like himself. He don't look like the two-time MVP. He don't look the way he did when he first came back from injury or before he got injured. You remember that first couple of games back from injury, he looked like Lamar Jackson. And then it was like every game after that, he just looked like he's coming back from injury. So I don't know if it's him, if it's the play calling, if it's the offense in general. They can't really get the running game going. Derrick Henry, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say he lost a step, but he's giving you the production he gave you last year. So it's just certain things, and Zay Flowers haven't had a touchdown since week 1. So it's like it's certain things that's just not going on with that Ravens offense, and we already know and knew throughout this season that you can't really count on the Ravens defense. So but shout out to the Bengals. They are still alive, not only in the playoff race, but for the AFC North, bro. They still are alive to win the AFC North. The AFC North is in shambles this year. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But the Steelers are 6-6, the Ravens are 6-6, and the what's the name? The goddamn Bengals record is, let me go check right now. Let me go check right now what their record is. Let me see. So their record right now is 4-8. They 2 games back, basically. They 2 games back of first place right now. So they still have, and they play the Bills this week coming up. So they still low key have a chance to fuck around and win the division when it comes to the Steelers and the Ravens. Especially depends on how these motherfuckers on the Ravens and the Steelers goddamn actually finish the season. That's, boy, like, it's so funny watching these two teams, or these teams in general, do this shit. Like, have these issues that they're having when it comes to like actually finishing the season and shit. Like the Steelers can't get shit right. Steelers had everything ready for them to take advantage of this division, and they lost yesterday to the Bills. I think they scored 9 points in that loss. And then the Ravens, you know, y'all had a chance on Thanksgiving to really take the lead in this division, and you guys fell to one of the worst teams in your division, one of the worst defenses, if not the worst defense in the league, and they was able to hold you guys to, I think, 14 points. So shout out to the Bengals for surprising the world and doing their thing. And speaking of surprising the world, right, this is our first hit, first down game of the week. And I don't want to, I don't have any graphics for it, right? But because it's not going to be a long take. It's not going to be a long take. But I did want to remind people that a couple weeks ago, I said Bryce Young has figured some shit. I remember I told you guys this. I said Bryce Young had figured some shit out, and he's been more comfortable. The game slowed down for him, and I think that, you know what I'm saying, he finally got it. And I remember people were saying like, nah, the wins that he had was against bad defenses, and even the 400, the game that I gave him first down player of the week for, was the game that he had 400 passing yards on I think Atlanta and shit. So they was like, oh, it's just Atlanta that he played against, and you shouldn't give him that much credit for playing good against bad teams. Well, looky here. This man just played the number 1 seed in the NFC, went toe to toe with what a lot of people are saying is the current MVP favorite, and outplayed him, and also won the game when it absolutely mattered the most. Shout out to Bryce Young. Shout out to the Panthers. They came through and they went blow for blow. Like I said, the NFC at the time, NFC is number 1 seed, one of the best offenses in the league, one of the hottest quarterbacks, hottest teams in the league. Matt Stafford came into that game with, I think, 20 plus touchdowns and no interceptions thrown. He threw 2 in that game. One of them was a pick 6, and he had a forced fumble. Shout out to Brown on the defensive line. So that like I was telling motherfuckers, if the Panthers can consistently run the ball, the defense is going to make sure they're not out of this game. Defense is really damn good. Even though the defense gave up 28 points, they came through when it absolutely mattered the most, and they gave you a touchdown. So they came through when they needed to. But they couldn't stop. Chuba Hubbard was out here running like prime goddamn Jonathan Stewart, D'Angelo Williams or somebody. You know what I'm saying? Chuba Hubbard was out here getting busy on the Rams defense. They couldn't stop the run to save their life. And then when I think the final play the play that the Panthers took the lead on was like a 4th down play. And I believe it was like a play action, and Bryce threw a dot over the top, for a touchdown. Amazing play call. Shout out to the guy over there and the guys over there, that's developing the game plan and the play calling for the Panthers. But we have to really start looking at the Panthers a little bit. I understand that they beat a lot of bad teams and a lot of bad defenses, but this Rams team wasn't one of them. This Ram team is not a bad team. It's not a bad defense. They put 31 up on what a lot of people feel as though the team is going to be in the NFC East. I mean, in the NFC Championship game. Sorry, they put 31 points on the team that a lot of people say that has the MVP on that team. And Bryce Young, in my opinion, outplayed them. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. The reason why I gave the Panthers and the Rams first down game of the week is because my boy Bryce Young proved y'all wrong yet again. And I've been trying to tell y'all niggas, but y'all don't like listening to me for some reason. Y'all think because I'm a Cowboy fan that I don't really be talking football or pay attention to other teams. I try to tell y'all I'm a football fan first and a Cowboy fan second. You feel me? But Bryce Young is out here balling. He balled out against the NFC's best team coming into week 13. There's no way around it. You can't, you know what I'm saying, try to cap about it. Like he did exactly what the fuck you wanted to see him do. So shout out to Bryce Young and the Panthers. And hell, the Rams too, because we don't have first down game of the week without the other team. So shout out to the guys. I'm not worried about the Rams in no way, shape, or form. I think that the Panthers is a lot better than what people give them credit for, and they just out there to prove that shit. Speaking of which, right? So one thing that I didn't mention when we was talking about the games, I don't even know if I got to the Black Friday game, but I'm about to double back and we're going to talk about this Black Friday game, right? So this Black Friday game was the the Chicago Bears visiting the Philadelphia Eagles. And boy, I tell you this. The Chicago Bears, and I was one of those people that was saying it don't matter that the Bears record at the current time that I was talking about it was 8-3. They're not going to get to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be a team that falls apart and you know what I'm saying, eventually let somebody else in the mix or whatever. Look, I will gladly say I was wrong on that one. Because the Chicago Bears might actually be for real. And I'm not saying for real as like Super Bowl contenders, but I mean like as in for real playoff contenders for sure. They are currently the number 1 seed in the NFC. Of course, with the Rams dropping that loss to the Panthers helped goddamn the Bears out tremendously, but the Bears still had to go into Philly and play a mad Philadelphia team that just lost to a divisional rival after having said team down 21-0. So you was thinking that the Eagles, because this is what the Eagle fans was telling me, right? Eagle fans was telling me, they was like, Preem, like every time we take a bad L or we, you know what I'm saying, team versus the next week we come out and we embarrass the team that we playing against. So I think Jalen Hurts going to throw for 350 yards, 4 touchdowns, and blah, 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 blah. And then the game actually happened. And those same Eagle fans been trying to tell me, oh man, I knew we was a bad team. No, we're not going to go for that shit. We're not doing that shit. We watch you motherfuckers all season do this shit. Oh, but look at our record. We number 1 seed. We just that in the third. Stop that shit. Y'all look bad. Y'all look really bad, bro. And it's even worse because your defense is giving up 200 yards rushing now. So your defense is not here to save you and your offense looks shitty. Your offense is good for about the first 15 plays. I peeped that. Your offensive coordinator is not really as bad as you guys like to say. Team. Y'all score on y'all first couple of drives every time. It's just everything after that. He just don't know. Apparently, he don't know how to call a full game, and your quarterback don't know how to consistently play a full game. It's so many plays. I understand the wind was windy. Motherfuckers was you know what I'm saying? I understand, right? Don't give a fuck about it at all. At all. There's no way in hell y'all gonna sit here and try to make excuses when Caleb Williams was playing in that same motherfucking elements. So we're not gonna make excuses for Jalen Hurts. We good with that? Good with that. He missed wide open ass receivers. Passes thrown into the dirt when niggas was wide open. You can run. Listen, if I'm any defensive coordinator in the league and I play the Eagles coming up, I'm playing zone defense the entire fucking time. I might send a zone blitz because I know this motherfucker ain't gonna be able to figure out who coming. But I'm playing zone defense the entire time, bro. This motherfucker don't throw into tight windows. He don't throw into wide open windows, let alone tight windows. I mean, it's play after play that you can go look at this game against the Bears. Hey, this man is open. That man is open. This man is open. Let the fucking ball go. And he never do that. He hold on to that bitch and he wants somebody to be wide ass open before he let it go. It's so many play. I mean, that slant pass to Smitty was just despicable. And for people to say he didn't know if it was zone or man or not, he's been in the league for 6 years. He's a 5-year starter. Why the fuck he don't know if it's zone or man yet? Come on, bro. Smitty knew that it was fucking man. Smitty knew I'm about to run this dude into his dude, and I'm about to create so much fucking space, you can't miss me. And what the fuck did Jalen Hurts do? Miss him. So y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead with that Jalen Hurts talk, bro. Y'all go ahead with that Eagles talk. Y'all look bad, bro. Y'all look bad. It looked like 2023 all over again, where y'all have a good record, but y'all not a good team. Let's keep it a bean. Keep it a bean. Y'all got a record, but y'all not a good team. And I'm going to need you guys to understand that shit. That's all I'm saying. That's me personally. That's all I'm saying. But let's get back to these Sunday games and shit. Because, like I said, I just want to touch on that because I forgot to mention that the Bears is the number 1 seed in the NFC. But Sunday games, we had some good games on Sunday and shit. Like I said, the game of the week was the Rams at the Panthers, and the Panthers was able to come out on top of that game. Shout out to those guys and shit. We had some other games on. One of the main games that I was paying attention to, of course, was another NFC East game, which was, NFC East team, which was the Washington Commanders, aka Wizards, versus the goddamn Denver Broncos last night on Sunday Night Football. A game that I knew, and if you guys are watching any of the content, you will hear me say plenty of times that I thought that the Commanders was going to steal this game, because not only because the Broncos has beaten every team in the NFC East so far this year leading up to this game, but because it just seemed like one of those trap games that the Commanders come out and beat one of the best teams in the league. And it looked like that was going to happen. We got into overtime. Bo Nix and that offense didn't allow. I mean, it was a last second field goal, don't get me wrong, but they didn't allow those, you know what I'm saying, those Wizards or Commanders to spoil anything for those guys. So they handled business as they should. Marcus Mariota looked dejected at the end of the game, especially because he went for the 2-point conversion. I think that was in regulation, if I'm not mistaken. Or it might have been, I think it was in regulation. They went for the 2-point conversion. The ball got tipped or batted down. You know, shit happens. So, but hopefully, it definitely don't matter. The Redskins or the Wizards or the Commanders is out of playoff contentions, but hopefully next week we will see Jayden Daniels back in the lineup and him getting some more reps. Him not being healthy this season really hindered their season, but I didn't think they was going far anyway. Denver Broncos defense is looking a little holy, but we could also just chalk it up to the fact that they probably wasn't coming in expecting the Wizards to be as explosive as they were or as consistent as they were. And you know, they got smacked in the face a couple times, but they did what they had to do eventually, especially in the overtime where they didn't allow them to score at all. So shout out to the Denver Broncos fighting for the number 1 seed in the AFC with the New England Patriots, who are currently the number 1 seed, and they play Monday night against the New York Giants. So shout out to those guys. And then we also had Shedeur Sanders' first home career start as a Cleveland Brown quarterback versus the San Francisco 49ers. In a game that was a little bit competitive early and got out of hand quick. I'll tell you this. For a rookie to come in literally more than halfway through the season and to be as composed as he's been, shout out to Shedeur Sanders. Let me cut my music off real quick because I gotta in on the sideline yelling and having disagreements, if you will, at Shedeur Sanders. They both was looking at like a Surface Pro or a Surface tablet, whatever, about the play that previously happened when Jerry Jeudy is running in deep, looked like a post maybe or seam or something. He's running deep, and Shedeur throws it, and it looked like he definitely overthrew him. Look, I'm not about to sit here and bullshit. He definitely overthrew him, but Jerry Jeudy didn't help. Jerry Jeudy definitely was jogging that route, especially at the top of that motherfucker. And let's keep it a bean, bro. Last week, you was wide ass open. Shedeur hit you. You run down the sideline. You do a hop and a skip and force fumble. They knock that shit right out your hand. Shedeur did not blast you. Shedeur did not try to upstage you in front of 20,000 people in the stadium and however many people that's watching around the world. How can a rookie quarterback be more poised and respectful than a so-called veteran receiver? See, y'all only get that veteran mark because of the years that y'all been in the league, but y'all not actually doing veteran type shit. You upstaging your quarterback. You had 4 games, if I'm not mistaken, with Dillon Gabriel. I've never once seen Jerry Jeudy scream or yell at Dillon Gabriel. I never seen Jerry Jeudy even talking to Dillon Gabriel on the fucking sideline after a bad play. And you had a game where as though you had 2 targets and no receptions when he was your quarterback. And I didn't see you snap on that man at all on the sideline, but you did it to Shedeur. I wonder the fuck why. I wonder why. I'm not about to sit here and make it seem like Shedeur had an amazing game or he was one of the best players out there. But the fact that this man was able to sit there and really, like, I felt like Shedeur and when the video was going on, I felt like Shedeur was like confused by this nigga. Like, bro, are you serious right now? You know what I'm saying? And even at the end, you could kind of see him mouth like, you tripping, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that's crazy. That's crazy for Jerry Jeudy, your number 1 receiver for one. Well, I mean, allegedly, you're supposed to be the number 1 receiver and shit. To come over there and try to upstage your rookie quarterback If he did overthrow you, if it was a mistake, you gotta let that shit rock, bro. You're not supposed to be out here screaming in that man's face. And you damn sure ain't do that shit to Dylan Gabriel. And I know you ain't do that shit to Joe Flacco. So go sit your dumb ass down somewhere, bro. That shit was so corny. That shit was trash. And then after the game, if you guys saw the reporters ask Shador, how did you feel about your coach going forward on 4th and 1 and blah, blah, blah. And Shador said straight up, bro, that was a dumbass question. What you want me to say? I ain't like it. I like the fact that he trusts the offense enough to do that. Shador is giving y'all the right answers for everything, and y'all trying to look and find any little fucking thing to hate this man. Let that man just play football. Let that man play football. If he end up not being good, then he just end up not being good. Why y'all feel like it's so much of a validation for you guys if he end up not being good? Why are you so happy if he fail? Y'all fucking weird for that shit. Y'all really weird for that shit. But to stay on this game, bro, we gonna stay on that game, that particular Browns game, bro, because it's gonna be happening this month or this week. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where I put it at. Shit. But it's something that's gonna be happening. Well, this year, I'm sorry, and shit, probably this month too, though. But it's something that's gonna be happening really soon, and I don't have my shit made up. I swore I had it. John made up for it, whatever. But as you can see, the next topic is the sack record, and I think that not only that record is going to be broken, but it's going to be obliterated. You know what I'm saying? If I could speak correctly and shit. But it's going to be obliterated and shit, bro. Like, no bullshit. No bullshit. It's going to be 25, maybe. Let's say 24 to be on the safe side. I think the record is 22 and a half, right? The record is 22 and a half. Currently, Myles Garrett has 19. And we still got, what, 6 games to go? Let's go look at the Browns record, right? And let's see the offensive lines that Myles Garrett has to play against. Right? Oh my goodness. He might fuck around and break the record in the next game. Myles Garrett might fuck around and break the record in the next game. And the next game for the Cleveland Browns is against the Tennessee Titans, who is giving up the most sacks in the league right now, who has the worst offensive line in the league right now. You know, so Myles Garrett might fuck around. Myles Garrett might fuck around and break the sack record in the very next game against Tennessee. But after that, you got the Bears. Caleb Williams does not hold on to that ball long enough for you to try to get to him multiple times. So you got to be on top of that. Then you got the Bills, the Steelers, and then the Bengals. So the Bills, Steelers, and the Bengals, you could get all 3 of those. Multiple sacks, in my opinion. You can get all 3 of those. I know Deion Dawkins is a beast at offensive tackle for the Bills, but I like Myles Garrett more. You know, I feel like one-on-one Myles Garrett is beating any tackle in the league. You feel me? So he definitely has more than enough chance to go out there and win this and break this goddamn sack record, bro. Shout out to Michael Strahan for holding this bitch for 20 years plus. But this thing is over with now. This is Myles Garrett record in sight. We about to watch history. You guys make sure y'all checking out these Browns games. Y'all make sure y'all don't miss next week against Tennessee, because Tennessee, like I said, Tennessee has the worst offensive line in the league. They're giving up the most sacks in the league. I think, and this is just me off the top of my head, I don't even know for sure. You guys could fact check me on it. But I even think that they're giving up the most sacks in a single game this year. You know what I'm saying? So this is one of the games that I think that Myles Garrett is going to feast immensely on that goddamn offensive line. No bullshit. So like I said, let's just, while we're getting a chance to watch it, and if he didn't win Defensive Player of the Year this year for that shit, then the NFL was rigged. And as we move on to first hit, first down player of the week, I will ask you guys, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. If you guys don't have no problem sharing the content, please do so also. You can check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, everywhere on social media. Smoke and Buzz Network. We are out here, bro, and I'm so proud that you guys are here with us for real, consistently with your boy, for real. So look, first hit, first down, player of the week. And in my opinion, it could go one or two ways. It can go, and look, I might be a little biased, right? It can go MV Prescott for having the performance that he had, not only against the Chiefs, but against the Eagles. Like I said, that was a 4-day span. I have to consider these things. You know what I'm saying? I have to consider these things. You know, in the 4-day span, I think he threw 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and then I think he ran one in also with 2 dubs. So, you know, it could be him. It could definitely be him, or it could be a player that might fuck around and win this shit for a third time. Our very first hit, first down player of the week was Bryce Young after he did what he did to the Dallas Cowboys defense. Now, you guys didn't see it because I didn't do a goddamn live for it, but I do have a graphic out there somewhere floating in the internet with his face on there, if I'm not mistaken. And then he won it again not too long ago when he had 45 pass attempts, over 400 yards, and 3 tutties with no interceptions against the Atlanta Falcons. And then this past Sunday against the NFC's number 1 seed, the best team in the NFC before this game happened, against the NFL's front runner for MVP, Bryce Young came out and outplayed Matt Stafford and led his team to a 31-28. He ended with 15 for 20, not bad, 206 yards, 3 tutties, no interceptions. The last touchdown is the most important touchdown because it was on 4th down and they put the ball in Bryce Young's hand. It was 4th and short. They could have easily ran it. They was running all through the Rams defense. They could have easily ran that joint, but they didn't. And they was able to, so you know what I'm saying, throw that bitch over the top and get the game-winning touchdown. So shout out to Bryce Young. Shout out to Dak Prescott. I'm going to let you guys go ahead for first hit, first down player of the week. I'm not going to give it one, but it is out of those 2 guys. If you guys have a different person that I didn't mention, you let me know, and I will consider him for our first hit, first down player of the week. But as of right now, the first hit, first down player of the week, in my opinion, is going to be out of those 2 guys. I just can't. It's going to be out of those 2 guys. It's going to be out of Bryce Young and Dak Prescott. So you guys let me know. I'll catch you guys later. You be sure to tune in Thursday night for the Cowboys and Lions watch along. I will be live everywhere. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, all that shit. TikTok, everywhere. So you guys make sure y'all come through Thursday night. Rock out with your boy. I'm going to catch you guys soon. Make sure you're tune in Saturday for Wake and Bake Podcast. Also on Thursdays, we have the Throwback Pack, where we're reacting to hip-hop and R&B albums that's 10 years or older, either for the first time or to see how well they aged if we heard it before and shit. So you guys tune in. Hell, you guys put in the comments if there's any albums. Like I said, hip-hop and R&B albums. So it can be Temptations. You know what I'm saying? It could be goddamn Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter. You know, it could be if we're talking 10 years, who's an artist that I don't listen to? It could be Future. You know what I'm saying? He's 10 years in the game or more and shit. Like, so it don't even matter who it is. You guys put it down in the comments and we'll go ahead and react to it. I appreciate everybody that chill with your boy today, man. I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. And remember, always